Vikings training camp risers and fallers. Rookies impress, veterans face competition. EAGAN Minn. Saturday's training camp practice showcased the Minnesota Vikings' vision for 2026. Improved quarterback play, combined with an enhanced run game, should make for an improved defense. That generates intrigue because the team still boasts one of the NFL's most menacing defenses. Kyler Murray, in particular, looked sharp.
Get ready for a fitness upgrade. Featuring cutting-edge technology and high-precision sensors and tracking on the free VSync app, the eTech City Smart Fitness Scale is your platform for success. The scale provides 13 essential biometrics, complete with helpful data graphs on the VSync app, all viewable on your personal profile. The scale handles all kinds of shapes and sizes and is safe for the whole family to use, at home or on the go.
Ready to order? Scan the QR code now or visit grabdeal.us/9.
He found superstar receiver Justin Jefferson on a crossing route, one of the staples of coach Kevin O'Connell's system. He decisively distributed the ball on quicker concepts. Meanwhile, the offense utilized a bevy of formations, inspiring the possibility of dynamism and misdirection. Advertisement but one preseason practice does not guarantee a successful season, and it doesn't come with any declarations about the starting quarterback. The Vikings and O'Connell designed this competition to produce consistency over days and weeks. Leaving that subject for later in the week, we thought it would be worthwhile to evaluate some other areas of the roster. Here is our first edition of Training Camp Risers and Fallers. Risers, the rookies, let's begin with a brief history lesson. The Vikings drafted 28 players from 2022 to 2025, and only 4 of them have become full-time starters for the franchise. None have participated in a Pro Bowl. Kicker Will Reichard and receiver Jordan Addison came the closest. The lack of success in the draft forced Minnesota to build its roster through free agency, which is suboptimal and unsustainable for any NFL team. This contributed to general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah's ouster. The 2026 NFL Draft became the responsibility of Vikings lifer Rob Brzezinski. Minnesota's longtime negotiator and salary cap expert selected 9 players this spring with massive input from college scouting director Mike Shalaton's staff and the team's coaches. First-round pick Caleb Banks responded from left foot surgery and is already mixing in with the starters. Second-round linebacker Jake Golday tipped a pass Saturday, evoking shades of edge rusher Andrew Van Ginkel. There has been positivity from the later-round picks, too. Assistant head coach Frank Smith spent some time after Saturday's practice reviewing techniques with fullback Max Bredesen. Cornerback Chuck Demings blanketed Jefferson and deflected a pass. Safety Jacob Thomas continues to show up in all areas of Brian Flores' defense, and undrafted safety Jacob Thomas tends to play right alongside him. Advertisement, it's easy to make too much of the start of training camp. But it's a good sign that so many of these players have already shown promise. Run game creativity, the Vikings' rushing attack took a major step forward in 2025. It may not have felt that way, but the numbers are telling. Minnesota ranked 12th in the NFL in yards per carry, 6th in rushing success rate, 5th in explosive rush rate, and 14th in EPA per rush. A heavy personnel shift affected these statistics. The decisiveness and cutback ability of Jordan Mason helped, too. To O'Connell's credit, the Vikings are seeking further growth. They swapped offensive line coach Chris Cooper for Keith Carter. Beginning in the spring, Carter set a higher standard for physical training. The Vikings also brought in Smith, the Miami Dolphins' former offensive coordinator, who brings insights from a team and system that were at the tip of the spear in recent seasons. Miami's scheme featured interesting motions, quarterback ball handling techniques, and multiple strategies to attack the edge of the defense. Former Dolphins fullback Alec Ingold, who followed former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel to the Los Angeles Chargers, became a fixer in the run-blocking phase. Bredesen's early involvement evokes many of these possibilities. Add in the potential of Murray's dual-threat skill set, and you can conceptualize the Vikings' expectations. Gavin Bartholomew, both of the Vikings, starting tight ends, TJ Hawkinson and Josh Oliver, have missed games in recent years due to injury. Bartholomew, a sixth-round pick in 2025 out of Pittsburgh, missed his entire rookie season due to a back injury, but his pass-catching reliability stood out during the first week of camp. Bartholomew adjusted to throws down the seam. He secured completions in the red zone. Padded practices will provide more data on his run-blocking ceiling, but he is already making a case for a back-end role. Advertisement Levi Drake Rodriguez, because the Vikings drafted 2 interior defenders in 2026, Rodriguez lost some shine, but he should still play an important role. So far in camp, when the starters have trotted out onto the field and the team sets up with a 5-man front, Rodriguez joins Jalen Redmond on the unit. Rodriguez went from athlete at Southwestern Assemblies of God University to defensive lineman at Texas A&M Commerce. The Vikings found him and drafted him in the 7th round. He developed enough to play 461 snaps last season, and the recent infusion of youth does not mean the 25-year-old has become a finished product. In the past 2 training camps, McGlothern made enough plays on the ball to pique the team's interest. He even flashed in some spare 2024 snaps when matched up with then Chicago Bears wideout Keenan Allen. Neither the front office nor coaching staff questioned his commitment in recent years, but through the first week, McGlothern received few snaps with the premier groups of players. It also doesn't help that another undrafted cornerback, Zemiah Vaughn, has earned meaningful opportunities. Deming's athleticism is eye-catching, too. Depending on health and how many cornerbacks the Vikings keep on the 53-man roster, McGlothern may face an uphill climb. Special teams intrigue. The Vikings ranked 8th in the league in special teams DVOA last year. Reichard's efficiency played a major role in the success. Former punter Ryan Wright reached a palatable floor as well. The team's 23 special teams penalties were the 7th most in the NFL, but special teams coordinator Matt Daniels often attributed the flags to youth. Assessing this phase isn't easy because the Vikings have kept the team-oriented special teams work to a minimum thus far. Reichard hasn't kicked in front of the media. Punters Johnny Hecker and Brett Thorson haven't booted the ball or held for Reichard, either. Edge rusher Depth Golday shifted from the traditional linebacker position to the edge Saturday. His comfort there offers some conviction about what the Vikings have behind Dallas Turner and Van Ginkel, but the rest of the possible replacements come with questions. Advertisement Bo Richter, Chaz Chambliss and Tyler Batty are all undrafted players trying to carve out bigger roles. Even though the Vikings have high hopes for Turner, and their defense doesn't hinge on one pass rusher taking over games, acquiring a more veteran pass-rushing replacement still makes sense. 3 years ago, Pace was the belle of the training camp ball. Flores tossed him into snaps with the starters, and Pace ducked his way underneath blockers with reckless abandon. He's still capable and can cause major problems for running backs in pass protection. His 5'10" frame can serve as an advantage when he's weaving his way through attempted pullers and blockers. His positives, however, often come with positioning in the wrong gaps and a lack of reliability in coverage. That's why his defensive snaps have diminished each year. He played 706 defensive snaps in 2023 and 323 in 2025. Bringing in versatile defender Jamal Adams means infusing the roster with another blitz-capable body who may push Pace for one of the team's final roster spots.